Hello, this is Distracted Lord, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. And I have a nice fancy car here. It's just totally your standard big big Jeep thing. It looks a bit like a Hummer, just it's got a different front end. I do like the front end of this, it looks quite cool. And then we've got this, which also looks cool. We've got like wing mirrors, and we've got a brake light up there, which in a minute I'll show you. We've got bumpers along here. I mean, that's like, not quite bumper, but we've got a bumper along here. There's even a skid plate under here. There's a skid plate there, because why would you not want a skid plate? I can open the boot. He says, fine. There you go. I've got the UI off, so I can't see where I'm actually pointing. It's just full of crates, because that's what we're transporting. Okay, I'm turning the UI on because I can't see where I'm pointing. There you go. Right, then I can open the door, and I can close the door using 2. It's got like sort of tinted windows in the back. Then 3 I can use to open the boot. No, I'll press it again. 4 is indicate that way, and 5 is indicate the other way. And then I can use 6 to turn on and off the lights. But this car also has a slight special trick that I'll show you in a moment. But if I leave the lights on, because I like having the lights on, we can drive off, and if you watch the brake light at the top when I brake, it turns on. So I have a working brake light. And those thrusters at the front, they help me turn, but not when I'm driving around like this. Oh, also, it has the most fancy suspension ever, because it's got like double suspension, and then at the front, both bits of it turn individually, so I get double turning, because the suspension turns, and then the wheel underneath that also turns. There's some crash thing there. I totally didn't leave that there. Right, now I'm going to show you my special ability. Right, so if we park up somewhere flat, because it doesn't like it when it's not flat. Right, and stop. And then I press 1. Yeet. Slightly wobbly. We're slightly wobbly. It's not normally this wobbly. Oh well. Right, it hovers. I've got a hover car. It's not really a car, it's like a hover Jeep thing. And it hovers quite well. For Scrap Mechanic, that is. And can then just drop out of hover, and the wheels go back to normal. I tried it without the wheels. Oh no, I'm stuck on something. Not anymore. But I tried making it hover without the wheels going sideways, and it just looks entirely wrong. It just doesn't look right. The wheels just must go sideways. Otherwise, your hover car is not proper. But around driving along, the wheels aren't good against trees. I can hover over trees. That's why you need hover. And if I go over here somewhere, where is it? Oh, it's over here. Quite good. I'm near it. So over here, we have a field of crops, and I crashed into a tree. There's a nice field of crops here, and if I drive over to the field of crops, and then I drive across the field of crops, I go bongity, 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 bouncy, 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 my wheels do weird things, and I can't drive properly. And we can do that, because of course we can do wheelies. It's not the fastest car ever. But if I spin around, and if I then go into hover mode, just wait for it to stabilise itself a bit, because it needs to stabilise itself. Right, if we then go over the field of crops, we have no trouble whatsoever. Absolutely none. And its hovering is good for going over small bumps and rolling it. Yeah, sometimes it rolls, and when it rolls, the frame rate goes. You will be lagged for no apparent reason. I don't know why, this car just lags when it falls over. Let me just turn the lights back on. Right, so hovering is good over lots of little bumps. But on terrain like this, it doesn't like it as much. Like, my suspension is just taking this all in. I'm not hitting the bodywork much at all. In fact, I don't think I am. I don't think I have yet. I might here, though. No, it's fine. The suspension can take this all in. And if I activate hover mode, then we hover over it all. Perfectly fine, right? Bonking the wheels around a bit. Oh no, hill. Clonk. Full downhill. And we rolled it. Just look at the wheels. The suspension moves as well. I just why is that wheel spinning? Stop spinning! Everyone else has stopped spinning. Why can't you? Just spin the wheels. How to dance, guys. Okay, that's enough of that. So on rough terrain like this, or up hills, this car likes driving. Driving, it likes to be on rough terrain, or flat terrain. And going up hills you want to be driving, but if you're going across loads of small bumps, like speed bumps or something, then you can go into hover mode and be perfectly fine with it, and not have your wheels bounced around to madness. And you can have complete control of the vehicle, and you can totally not roll it. But this is like one of the best things I've made in a while. But over here there's a hill, and we don't like hills in this car. This car doesn't like hills, because it's not particularly fast. But I can climb hills in driving mode. If I drive along, I can drive up this hill no problem, really. I mean, we can't do it the fastest ever, not breaking any records. But driving up the hill, perfectly fine. Bouncing around a bit, yeah, no problem here. I can just keep driving. Nothing slows me down at all. Well, much. We did slow down a bit. But then if I go into hover mode, and we hover, then we go, oh look, hill, let's climb the hill. One, we have no grip and we go drifting everywhere. Yeah, drifting everywhere doesn't really help. But if we go along, and then we go to hover mode, and I'm just going full forwards. Are we going forwards? We're going forwards now. Are we going forwards? Not much. Are we going forwards? No. We're not going anywhere. Because because this is, like, horizontally is where, like, the axis the camera's on. Don't go that way. No, turn this way. This way. This way. Come over here. Come back to the camera. No, not over there. No, come back. Right, thank you. But the axis the camera's on is horizontal, and the car isn't. The car doesn't go horizontal, and therefore the upward thrusters push it backwards along the hill. So it's not too helpful for climbing hills. Also, I'm gonna do some on-camera testing here. What happens when we throw it off a cliff? I'm yet to throw it off a cliff. Right, let's just put it into hover mode. Everything gets confused and turns off. I have a safety feature. Turn things off if I don't think they should be on. Like, if you're flying through the sky, or you're upside down, it goes, I don't think you want to have your thrusters on, because you're probably upside down, and you probably don't want to be propelling yourself downwards. So, I think we have ourselves a nice versatile car. If you are wondering about the technical stuff, though, let me just hop out and go into that now, because there's some large amount of it. Yes, there's this much of it. Bleh, mess. As always, my things are a complete mess of lines. So, I'll start with, like, the lights and stuff. They're button 6. That quite simply just goes to the lights. Then 5 and 4 are the indicators. They go to down here through... Yeah, you can see this? No, this timer here, this timer, which I'm hovering over here, and these two logic gates next to it, create a circuit which is flashing. That's the indicators. All the indicators connect to that, and then logic gates to go to the indicators, so the indicators only flash if they're on here and are being told to flash here. Then, what have we got? 3 is the switch here. This switch doesn't do anything. It's entirely decorational. and the 3 is that switch there. It's the same with my doors. That's just what I do with the doors, because then it means that if I get in the car and close the door, you don't end up with the thing being green because that switch and not another switch, which is a problem some things have, and it's just annoying. Alright, get on the car. Then the door's the same, and then 1 is the really complicated bit, because 1 actually goes to a timer, which I think is this timer here, this one down here. That then goes to some logic gates for these sensors here, so when it's within 20 blocks. So if there is something within 20 blocks, and it's been, like, I think it's 0.775 seconds, which is some number of ticks, I can't remember, it says on the timer, then they go on, and the reason there's a delay is so that when you take off and then they kick in, otherwise you go flying up fast and then you just end up going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and I'm gesturing and you can't see. Then that's how that bit works. And then completely separate system, we have some sensors, I don't even know where they are. It's those ones, this one here and the one on the other side, which control the other thrusters, so the other ones at the front and back. And that's just when they're within, I think it's 11 blocks, I can't remember, it's too complicated, it's 11 blocks, yeah, they turn on, and that's what makes you hover at 11 blocks, because the main thrusters are just powerful enough that you glide slowly down, elegantly and all that, so they make you glide down, and these ones push you back up again when you get within 11 blocks, so in theory, the car should go and it goes just under, and then it goes, and it's like this, and it just hovers up and down slightly. But it doesn't quite work like that, because overcorrection, and I don't have room for more thrusters. If I had more thrusters, I could have, like, 1 thruster for when it's really close, and then 1 thruster when it's not quite as close, and 1 thruster when it's really not very close at all, and then it sort of hovers at a height, but the thing's too small to fit all that in at the front. At the back I've got room, I could stick more thrusters in if I wanted, but at the front everything is cramped as it is, because all the electronics are in the engine bay. There's 2 engines and a whole bunch of electronics. Then you have the wheels, which just is a bunch of bearings connected to controllers connected to 1, so it just moves itself. All the doors are connected to each seat, so if I open this door, I can then get in the seat, and I can open and close the door from the seat, because that's a useful feature. I can't get out, can I? Yeah, unfortunately you can't get out from the back seats, you have to sort of get out from this seat. This is the only seat you can actually get out of, by using levitation mod to fly through it. It's a bit, not... Scrap Mechanic doesn't quite understand getting out of cars yet. And then, at the back down here, we have 2 mechanisms which you can't see. But this bearing, there's a thing connected to this, and then there's 2 sensors. And that's steering, so which means that when I turn left and right, that controls these, but only when I'm in the air, because otherwise you have a ridiculous amount of turning. And you've got lots of steering lock anyway, and you don't need that as well. It's just too much. I'm flying too far today. And what else is there? Oh, there's the thrusters here, with the forward ones here, which just connect to the seat. Just basic stuff there. And we have an engine here. There's not the engine. The thing connects to the engine. There's a bit coming off here, which goes this way. And there's a sensor that picks it up, and that goes to the brake light. So when I press S, it rotates this like a wheel, and it goes and pushes a bit towards the sensor. There's also some suspension to push it back again, because otherwise I press S and it goes to there and it just leaves the X, it thinks it's the wheel. Your wheels don't turn back when you stop going backwards, so there's a bit of suspension that all works, but you have to have it perpendicular to your car, otherwise it doesn't actually work. And when you go forwards quickly, you just turn your brake light on, because it's the suspension. Then there are these bearings, the wing mirrors don't do anything, and this bearings here is the windscreen, because the windscreen is actually a piece of glass that goes upwards and is rotated. Also, the front, it just looks cool. I do like the front, it's quite cool. What are all these? I can't even remember. There's just so much complicated, fancy stuff in here. It's all confusing and complicated, and you can make it as you're going along, but if you make a mistake, you can very quickly lose track of what you're doing. I'm just gonna stop looking at this before I get completely confused about what I'm doing. Right, let's get back in the car and just oh, I can show you inside the car view, because this is nice. So, my nice interior here, there's some totally useful mirror there, and I've got another mirror there. They don't work, there is no mirror in the base game. I think there's one with a mod, but it's complicated. Anyway, the car is nice and simple. I'll just set it to strict follow camera so we can actually see where I'm going and not have to move my mouse all the time. You see, from inside the car, it doesn't seem to be too slow. It seems quite a nice speed. But from outside the car, it doesn't seem as fast. It's also one of the grippier things that I've made. A lot of cars end up not being very, very grippy, and I've lost the road. That's not the road. Where's the road? See, this is the problem with inside the car view. No idea where the road is. And let's go off again and find the road, and then we can fly it. And that's a whole. Where's even the road gone? But flying, things look a bit different. You can't see the bumps. Not that you need to worry about all of them. Where even is the road? I've lost it entirely now. Right, so if we activate hover mode, then we can go. Then we just fly up, and you see my turning thrusters are now functioning, and I can't see the road anymore. Not that I need to. We're slightly flying around a bit. That's a tree. I found a tree. I've unfound the tree. Found another one. Yeah, turning too much can cause you to fall over a bit. Like that. Roll that. Hello. Everything's upside down. Right, let's get you back the right way up. And hop back in again. Yeah, inside the car and hover isn't a great combination. I would not recommend it personally. Outside the car view, it's fine. You can see what you're doing. Just inside the car, not a great idea. And I can drive up a hill. Come on, car. Come on, car. Come on. Stop bouncing around on your suspension so much. Come on. Yes. I shall park here. And there. Let's go backwards. And stop. Let's just get out. Ah, I've been flung up a hill by physics. Thanks, physics. Let's just hide you again. Lovely view from up here. But there's something else I want to talk about, and that is Scrap Mechanic Survival Mode. Oh, suspension. My car's got weird suspension. But Scrap Mechanic Survival Mode trailer has been released, if that's what you do to a trailer. Not quite sure that's what you do to a trailer. But there is a trailer. Hopefully I put a link in the description. I probably haven't, knowing me. But I might have done, so go check if there is one. You can go to it and... what was I going to say? Oh, the survival mode is coming on the 7th of May, which is the coming Thursday, and I am going to most definitely be doing a series in it. Before I do that, you probably ought to make sure you've watched the trailer so you know what I'm doing, because I don't want to explain everything. It's going to take me long enough to work it out myself as it is. But nobody other than developers knows how everything is going to work. Like, we know that there's going to be some sort of crafting system, stuff like that, but we have no idea how it's going to work. So I'm going to go and work it out with you all on Thursday, and I'm going to see if I can work out what to do. Hopefully my slightly basic knowledge of Scrap Mechanic, I mean, my knowledge is not exactly that diverse, but I think I kind of have experience, being I have over 10 days of playing time, as in I have 246 hours of the game. I think I kind of might know some stuff, but survival mode might be vastly different. So hopefully I will see you then, and hopefully you will have watched the trailer by then, so you know what's going on, because that is kind of important. It is definitely recommended. But, well, that is going to be all from me today. So, until then, that's actually quite a long time, isn't it? Yeah, until next time. I'm not going to say when that is, because I don't know, I never know. But, thank you for watching. Don't get distracted. Go subscribe now, and until next time. Oh, that's a bit of an outro, I said it already. Okay, goodbye.